Keep it safe, number 5 in our video presentations, one of our principles of a healthy home, brought to you by the Indiana Healthy Homes Alliance and Improving Kids Environment. My name's Joan Ketterman. I'm the training manager at the Environmental Management Institute. So today we want to talk about why keeping it safe is important, what health problems can arise from not doing so. We would like you to be able to walk into a unit, a home, and look around and know what some of those signs are of an unsafe home. What problems make it unsafe? And how do we fix that? What solutions are there? Preferably, of course, low-cost solutions. Some of them are fairly simple. And as you look at the things we talk about, you're going to realize that some of them are pretty obvious. Obvious maybe to you and me, and not always obvious to the homeowners. And I'm pretty sure somebody could walk into my home and find something that wasn't safe, and not always staring you in the face. So we're going to introduce to you mostly the obvious things that you can look at. Keep a mental checklist as you walk through and talk to your clients. So once again, a healthy home, designed, built, renovated, and maintained for good occupant health. That's the goal here, is to have good health, both mental and physical health, as we talk to our clients to make sure that they have the best possible living conditions. So why do we want a safe home? Well, if it's not, then people end up in the ER. They have emergencies. So that adds to the cost, and it adds to stress on the occupants of the home. So things to think about: slips, trips, and falls. In some age groups, the most common reason for an emergency room visit is slips, trips, and falls. Burns, fires. For young kids, that's often the way that they die. That's one of the leading causes of death. Chemical exposures, carbon monoxide poisoning, electrical hazards, things we don't think about very often when we go about our daily routine. So we're going to review some of these as we go through the next few slides. You have to look both inside and outside if this is something that you want to do. And again, some of it's pretty obvious. What happens if the windows are broken? Some of that is what we talk about in other slides. So it allows pests in, but it also allows intruders in. And obviously that's a safety issue. I don't know about you, but if I'm too lazy to walk upstairs, I put something on the stairs to go up with me next time that I go up. My husband never turns the lights on when he walks upstairs. He's been doing that for 30 years. He doesn't need the lights. So if there's something there, whoops, then he's tripping on that. Now, my stairs don't necessarily look like this, but that doesn't mean there's not a trip hazard. And that can be fairly easily explained to folks why that might be important. So what are you looking for? How about the handrails? Handrails are required. But just because we have them doesn't mean that they're useful. Are they loose? Is it missing? Is it broken? Are they not smooth? So obviously what we have to do is fix it. Fasten them more securely or get a new one. How about the steps? Are they smooth and even and free of clutter? So obviously repairing those would be something that would be important. We mentioned the clutter on the treads. It's an easy way for people to slip. So not that hard to put those things somewhere else where they won't become a trip hazard as well. A light, if I turn a light on, I can see where I'm walking. I can see what's on the stairs. And so just flipping a switch and finding out if a light bulb can be changed can be a simple fix. Or realizing that a repair has to be made and making that suggestion to your client as well. How about electrical issues? When you walk in a room, is there a light switch easily available? Or do you have to walk all the way across the room to turn a light on? Well, then it's dark and you don't know what you're looking at. So can the furniture just be rearranged so that there is a lamp or something easily accessible when you walk in. How about the outlets? That's an easy thing to look at. Are they overloaded? How many things are actually plugged into there? If there's 2 plugs, 2 things is the best way to go. But obviously we don't want to overload, and sometimes it's easy to do that, especially at Christmas time when we got all our lights on. But 80% of the available current, how are you going to know that? You're not necessarily going to know that, but certainly you can see that there are too many things plugged into one place. Is there exposed wiring? An electrical hazard. Finding an electrician, someone to come in and do that repair. Bathrooms. If you were to look in a bathroom, are there grab rails? And if there are they well secured? Especially when we're talking about our elderly, then that's something that's important to have. If you step into a shower or a bathtub, is there some way to prevent slipping? So there's lots of things that can be put on the bottom of that tub or shower, suction mats, decorative stickers, but we're trying to stay away from the slips, trips, and falls. Too much moisture in a room causes peeling paint. Moisture can lead to mold. It can lead to extra pests. So if people have fans, you can just suggest they use them. If they don't have a fan, then they need to open their window. I know, it's cold outside. That's okay, open it anyway, at least for a short period of time, before, during, and after that shower. And the exhaust fan, can it be cleaned? Can it be fixed? Those are suggestions that you can make. How about a throw rug? We all want to walk out of the shower or the bath onto some kind of a mat. Is it going to slip right under us? So you want to get one that's got a rubber backing or in some way will be firmly attached to the floor and stay anchored while you're stepping on that. How about outside? What's the exterior got? So do we have locks that will work to keep intruders out? Do we have locks on our windows? So both the doors and the windows, that's something that you can check. How about lights? Lights at night, motion sensor lights even better, but lights at night will keep people away and make it look like someone's in the home. And so that can be a safety issue. Overgrown landscaping, that's a maintenance issue, and that's not always easy for some of our clients to get out and do those kinds of things. But what we don't have close to the house means it's also not a place for intruders to hide, and it also keeps some of the moisture away from the house if your bushes and things are too close to the exterior. So that can be another suggestion that you make. Fires, burns, hot water. That's easy enough. Turn the hot water on. How hot is it? 120 degrees is the suggested temperature, and not everybody wants to do that. I have a sister-in-law says that she likes it hot in her kitchen because then she has hot water upstairs. If it's not hot enough in the kitchen, if it's just right in the kitchen, it'll never make it upstairs. So you're not always going to convince people that they need to keep it at 120, but if there's small children in the house, it's certainly something to consider. It's easy enough to look at. You see the diagram there, and make a change on that. How about a fire extinguisher? A lot of homes don't have fire extinguishers. They're very inexpensive. You can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond with your 20% off coupon. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one of the big red ones that you see when you're walking down a hallway of a building. There's lots of other kinds that you can get. But somebody should have a fire extinguisher. They should know how to use it. So you see the acronym PASS. You pull the pin, you aim it, you squeeze the trigger, and you sweep it back and forth. You aim it at the bottom of the fire, not the top. It's called an ABC fire extinguisher, is what you're going to use for most common fires. If somebody wants to get one specifically for their kitchen, it's a K fire extinguisher, and that's for grease fires. Smoke detectors, easy enough to see if the batteries are working by pushing the button. That doesn't always mean that the smoke detector works. You have to hope that it does. Turns out that smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors both have a shelf life. In other words, they're only good for about 10 years. The newest that come out have a lithium battery that you can't remove. because that's always a problem, people borrowing those batteries for other things, can't be removed, and it starts chirping about the 10 years, and you're going to have to replace it or go crazy. But you might look or ask that question about how old that is to see if it can be replaced, and most local fire departments will take care of that for you. Also, making sure that there's one on every floor. We don't know where the fires are going to start, so you need something there too. How about the dryer? Now, most of us know that we need to pull out the little lint trap and change that, but what we might not realize is that the vent, the hose that takes that to the outside, and they all should be vented outside, also should be cleaned on a regular basis, once or twice a year. That's also a fire hazard. And so you can show where that is, go home and look at yours, get an idea, and then you can show somebody else and make that suggestion as well. Sometimes people feel like they don't have the money to pay for the utilities to stay warm, or as they get older, they're not warm, even with the heat up in their home, so they get a space heater. We especially don't want someone to use a kerosene heater, and that can be a problem for lots of different reasons, but suffice it to say, suggest that there's another way to do that. If it's an electric heater, is it plugged in along with many other things? And that can cause fires as well. So if there's a way to talk to weatherization, talk to some other agencies to see if they can get their heat working so that there's no space heaters, that's obviously the ideal. What other harmful items might we have in a home? Well, there's lots and lots of chemicals in everybody's house. And most of us have medicines as well. So are the chemicals locked up? Are the medicines locked up? We don't want our kids to look at them and use them. We also don't want those people who come to visit us to be in our medicine cabinet looking for them either. So if you can get everything locked up and not out on an open table, that's the best way to do it. Sometimes it's too hard for the clients to do anything but have them, to make sure that they get them and have them easily accessible, so you can talk with them about the ways to minimize access to somebody else in the house. Kids are attracted to colors. You have Kaboom, and it's purple, and it's pretty, and it looks like the Gatorade. So why wouldn't they want to get in there and drink some of that? So where are your chemicals? And do you really need all of those types of things? Do people understand reactions by putting chemicals together? And so where are they stored? That's something that you can look at. Hopefully not near a heat source. Often they're under the sink, but that can get warm, or next to a dishwasher, which can warm up a space. So a garage or a shed or something that's outdoors can be much better than keeping them inside. And reading some labels on chemicals is something that we all should learn to do. We talked about smoke detectors. How about carbon monoxide detectors? Everyone should have one of those, especially on the floor where people sleep. How about weapons? You need to have a family discussion about what's the best place to put that and how to handle that to keep it out of not just babies and toddlers, but kids of all ages, and keep your home safe from a potential hazard with a weapon. So yeah, this was pretty short. That's about it. We could go on and on and on, but if you're just going to look for a few of the basics, those are some of the things, especially on the slips, trips, and falls, because those kinds of fixes can be quite affordable and easy to do in a minimal amount of time. If you have other questions or you're looking for other resources, we have listed on here for you the National Safety Council, there's the Home Safety Council, HUD, and the list goes on and on. If you go to the Ike website, we suggest some things like using the green cleaners so that you can eliminate some of the other chemicals that you have. Hopefully you'll join us for another of our video presentations and you would found this useful today. Thanks for listening.